Hey guys, Philip with Trade Genius here, and welcome to the binary option update for August 1st. Wanted to go and take a look at some charts real quick and kind of show you what's going on as of today, Tuesday, and what we're looking at for the week ahead. So let's take a look at the charts, and first up we'll look at ES. ES ran up early in the Globex session to about 0.5 deviation. A lot of times when I see that, I tend to expect it to move higher all through the day, actually. But we didn't really get that. We did get another leg higher and then a reverse course back to settlement, which you can see in this shot here. A lot of times we're getting away from settlement and then we come back to it. Move away from settlement, come back to it. This day we shot down and then shot back up to it. Next day, same thing, get to minus 0.5 and back to settlement. So it's like if we get somewhere between 8 to 10 ES points away from settlement, right now it's like algos are just programmed to go back to settlement or close, previous day close. So kind of interesting to note that. As far as our other levels, though, that we talked about in our other videos, I haven't seen anything that really indicates that we're making any kind of moves this week. This 2463 area I think is important for support if we do move down there. So basically we're bouncing between the 2480 previous high area and this 2463 area. Anything in here is just kind of noise. A lot of volume buildup in here. Once we move past that, then we're going to see, I think we could see a fairly quick move down to 2437 area, just because there's just not a lot of volume in here for support. So that's kind of where we're at. It's almost lunchtime here during the session, and I think we're just, it points to a flat session again today. So don't think we'll get any end of day signals today on ES. We have issued a sell on the weekly strike for this black line here, represents the 1775 strike. As you can see here, Euro's had a pretty big run up, overbought on the larger time frames, and so basically what we're looking at here is I kind of wanted to see this chink in the armor, and that's what we got. And so looking to see some correction down for the rest of the week. So put that on. We'll keep tabs on that during the course of the week. Oils finally showed some weakness. I was looking, it was a short candidate this week, but at the same time I didn't want to, I kind of wanted to see some kind of action that showed it was running out of steam, and that's what we got today. So what we'll see in the following charts is this is kind of at a point where it's at the channel, magic channel buy area. So I think any bounce up off of this is where we'd probably be looking to get short. So we'll keep tabs on that, but I think that's setting up here in the next 24 hours. That being noted, we have a report after the close today, and then we have our oil report tomorrow at 10. So I would probably wait till after that. If there was an extremely bullish report, might change my mind, but other than that, I think we're looking to fade any bounces in oil at this point. All right, let's take a look at our FX charts. And Aussie yen might set up, dollar CAD might set up, let's see, euro yen might set up. The yen and the dollar futures are pretty, they're not showing any really extreme movements relative to their previous range. Euro pound might set up. So we have some things that are starting to come into play. So keep your eyes open for alerts, and these would be at the money type entries. Okay. But yeah, so that's basically the quick overview on FX there. All right, let's take a look at our dailies. As you can see in the magic channel, ES back to kind of like that midline. I was hoping that we'd get a fade up here, a little bit higher push. We would have gotten a fade entry in this 2479, 2480 area. One thing to note here on this chart, we've got the ES in purple, and we have our yield curve. This is other green and red line, and look at the yield curve just tanking. I think that's going to be, that could be a drag on things here in the afternoon or the next 24 hours. We'll keep tabs on that, but that's a big move down. So the yield curve is not happy, and yield curve tends to, when it diverges from price, two things will happen. More often than not, ES will correct down to it or up to it. The more rare scenario, and it's kind of what happened here, was we diverged and then actually the yield curves corrected back up. That doesn't happen as often. So when I see this, to me, this is looking like a warning. So we're going to keep tabs on that, but that's a red flag for downward pressure on price. Commodities, as I was telling you, oil is a buy in the magic channel, but I do want to fade any bounces here. But yeah, that would be a point where we'd probably be looking to see oil bounce here shortly from this correction down. And this, I think, is the first start in the bigger move on oil down to, I think it's going to 40 personally, but we'll see what happens. Everything else, natural gas was a buy yesterday on the channel. Did a dead cat bounce and rolled over. I do think we're putting in a bottom here on natural gas. And soy and corn are falling out of their channels. We'll keep tabs on those. As far as silver and gold, silver, we may get some consolidation this week, or maybe a little bit of a pullback. We almost got to a channel buy here, but not quite. And gold's pretty much in the middle of the channel there, so nothing too exciting on that. Copper's been going sideways. It will get out of its channel here shortly. If it keeps doing that, we'll see. We'll keep tabs on that. But that's looking at your Nadex commodity instruments. And the last thing we can take a look at is VIX. And the VIX, as we talked about, we have these interval spikes. We're kind of due for one now. We'll see if that yield curve creates a bearish issue on like the ES, for example. If so, we might see this spike up briefly above 13. On our volatility indices for the various FX instruments, we're still pretty well grouped together, although the pound is starting to move up above. Again, we don't like to see our VIX below the Forex volatility indices. We like to see the VIX above them. It's just better for Nadex Premium. You get paid better for the risk. And that's pretty much it. So hope you have a good rest of the trading day, and we'll get you another update tomorrow. Until then, be safe out there, and keep your eyes peeled for our Nadex signals. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.